Alrighty, live from Cabot, Arkansas. It is a Ramsey show, pre-show, chat. And also another Ramsey coach with Coach Steve Money. Sorry, very tired. Turning over to my TV. Other computers hooked up to that. Making sure we have audio. A TV. We do, as you just heard. All right, I need that one because I can't hook up another screen to my new computer. So we are using that one. Alrighty. There we go. That's better. Alrighty, so the Ramsey show was replay the past 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, because of the event in Utah. I think it's a Building Wealth event in Salt Lake City, Utah on Monday night. And so, but the mod has assured us that there will be a new show today. So fun times, and I'll keep a lookout here to see when mod posts that. It is a little early for that. And I started early just because I happened to be still awake after staying up late. Actually, I took a nap and then got up early morning to do the Curse of Oak Island recap. See what else is going on in the world. The market futures are up. Don't know about the small cap, Russell small cap index, because that's not on this page, but apparently upbeat Microsoft earnings report. So that's fun, especially for the NASDAQ. That's like your tech stocks and such. See if anything else is interesting here. PayPal down. Let's see. Florida orders new emergency assessment fee on home insurance policies. I wonder what for. Oh, they got me. Let's find out. Emergency assessment purpose is to help the state pay off claims of insolvent companies. All right. That doesn't seem quite fair, but that's the way it goes. Columbus apparently has an $8,000 apartment. Mortgage demand rebounds even as interest rates hit the highest level in over a month. What do you think about that? Housing crash, people. People think there's going to be a housing crash. Dave Ramsey does not think so. He thinks prices might come down a little bit. But this is basically the new normal. And he knows a lot more about it than a lot of the people that are saying that there's going to be a housing crash. Netflix loses 1 million Spanish users over password policing. So, see what they do about that. If that ends up being enough more subscriptions to make up for that loss, I guess time will tell. The demise of Bed Bath & Beyond. That is last Manhattan store. Microsoft, yeah, that was from yesterday. Market hasn't opened yet today. Oh yeah, and so these would be yesterday's numbers, not live, because the market hasn't opened yet. All right, well, who we got coming up for earnings? Got Meta, which is the artist formerly known as Facebook, Amazon.com on the 27th, Exxon and Chevron on the 28th, AMD on this May 2nd, and Apple on May the 4th. So some pretty big shape movers and shakers there. Nobody in the chat yet. It is a little earlier than normal, so perhaps soon. All right, so if you don't know, this is all based, the Ramsey advice is all based on the baby steps, or the baby steps probably based on his advice, probably, more likely. And that's step 1, you save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund while paying minimums on all your debt. Baby step 2 is you pay off all debt except the house, all non-mortgage debt, using debt snowball, which is listed smallest to largest. You pay them off in that order, so you put every extra cent you can to the smallest debt, and you pay minimums on all the rest. Baby step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. A lot of people ask, how much is that? That is 3 to 6 months, your choice of how many months, but then times your personal expenses in a month. Whatever you personally spend, all your utilities, food, gas, whatever you can think of that you have to spend in a month, and that all should be in your budget. And so whatever that budget equals up to in a month, that times 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 counts for baby step 3. Baby step 4, invest 15% of your household income in retirement. If you're already investing, whether or not you have a match, you should stop investing temporarily until you get done with baby step 3. After you start baby step 4, baby step 1, 2, and 3 are done in order separately, one at a time. Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 are done in order all at the same time. So again, that's investing 15% of gross household income in retirement, and save for your children's college fund. If you don't have children, you can skip that step. Or if you choose not to help them, some parents do. Baby step 6, pay off the home early, and you should pay off the home early before investing more than 15%. And the reason is so you can get your house paid off early, and then after that, you'll be in baby step 7, where you build wealth and give a lot of it away. And in that step, you can invest as much as you want. In baby step 7, you can do anything you want financially except put yourself in a lower baby step, unless it's baby step 3B, which is right in here, which would be to save for a down payment for a house. All right, get a little agua here. All right, we go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and we sort by new. Again, this subreddit is not run by Ramsey Solutions. A lot of people address comments and such to Dave. I'm sure Dave doesn't look at it. I don't know if anybody there keeps up with it. But it is run by fans. It is not run by Ramsey Solutions. or Dave Ramsey. But anyway, from 12 hours ago, Bry 3 Bex 827. The what would Dave do flare there? Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, it's already 125. I'll make it 150. What would Dave do flare? Financial peace. Is that all of it? Oh, that was all of it. Okay. The what would Dave do flare? I've been listening to Dave's podcast religiously since January and paid off about $22K of debt since. Excellent. I have been following the baby steps and made dramatic changes in my spending and momentum. Do you think I need to purchase FPU, or should I just keep doing what I'm doing? That's up to you. FPU has a lot of good information in it, and it can certainly help you. It's good for camaraderie because you will be in the class with other people, whether it's in person or virtually through the internets. And so it certainly can't hurt, but in addition to just going more in depth in the baby steps, it has a class on marketing, how companies market to you. It has one on the different types of insurance and so forth that you should have. And so it's just the program more in depth. Now, I never took FPU myself. I got debt free without doing that. I never took it myself until I coordinated it. And so you don't need it, but it can help you definitely, and it definitely will not hurt. So that's going to be up to you. If you want to learn more about it, and perhaps some of the nuanced stuff that is not directly in the book, Total Money Makeover, and not directly in the baby steps, it can certainly help. But it is not necessary if you just follow the baby steps in order without confusing the baby steps, what you should be doing. For example, there was one guy in the Ramsey Show chat one time that was doing all the first 6 steps at the same time. He was trying to do them all at the same time. And that's not how you do it. Again, it's in order always. There's nothing that changes the order ever. Nobody's little situation changes the order. Now, if you have an emergency or something, what you do is you pause the debt snowball and you just pile up cash. But again, the order doesn't change. Once emergency is over, you take any piled up cash that's left over from the emergency time and you apply that to whatever baby step you were on. You pick right back up on the baby step you were on. But yeah, like I said, I got debt free without it. It does go like more into depth with the investing as well, and so it definitely couldn't hurt. And probably there will be stuff in it that you did not know before. So probably normally a good idea to do it. And again, if you don't want to pay for it, you can volunteer to coordinate a class, and then that can be a way that you can take it for free. How about that? Alrighty. Still nobody in the chat. Again, it's earlier than normal. Normally, let's see, what time is it? 7:17 Central Time. Yeah, it's a little or about an hour earlier than normal. Yeah. Then the Ramsey Show is normally posted by 10 p.m. Eastern, and so normally I think closer to 9 a.m. Eastern time. Just check it again one more time. Okay, and just like that said there, repeat episodes. Hackadelic Renegade, 21 hours ago. Has anybody noticed that sometimes they are posting episodes from several weeks ago? I'm listening to Spotify to yesterday's episodes. I'm 99% sure the first call was from an episode maybe a couple months ago. And yes, as I said at the beginning, the past 2 days were replays. There were no new shows because they had an event in Salt Lake City on Monday night. But today will be a new episode. Alrighty, this from Electronic Honey 9768. Help! Get clear assessment results. I don't know if I'll be able to. Let's read it, but I don't know. Excuse me. Sleepy. I don't know if I'll be able to help with this because this is a King Coleman thing. Let's see. So I took the assessment. I can't narrow down a path at all. Any ideas based on my purpose statement it gave me? I was created to use my talents of discernment, imagination, justice to perform my passions of making, creating, leading, to accomplish my mission of creation by producing new things and ideas. Okay. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of what job that would be either. Let's see, West Texas, I'm stuck here for a bit. Info to help with ideas, just need some brainstorming. I have no friends, LOL. All right, well, first get friends. Excuse me. Imagination, justice, making, creating, leading. I mean, I guess I'm like creating content by doing this. Let's see if people thought of anything. How many? 10 comments. Give up hope and getting help from KC. All advice is pretty vague. This one person isn't offering any ideas. Merchandiser in the soda industry. No sense of purpose in distributing diabetes. Hey, you got Diet Coke there, Coke Zero Sugar as well. I don't want to do something. Oh, this is the OP, the original poster there, who originally posted the first thing there. Possibly own business making or fixing things. Yeah. Can't narrow down what though. Yeah, I try different things. Let's see. Start and manage custom 3D printing business. Feel the same way about beer distribution and merchandising. Chat GPT prompts. I can probably dig up some more ideas. Provide a list of goals, publish strats. Okay, no particular jobs. Flipped a coin and bought a tiny house out here. I saw online. Dave does not recommend tiny houses. I missed the video. Okay, so just a little conversation there. Not really an idea of what job to do. Yeah, that's yeah. You may have to try different things to see what you like. The case for paying a house off early. Wow. It's not that long. I've been analyzing options on how to divert funds, house versus a high yield savings account versus a brokerage for mutual funds on top of the 15% for retirement. You're not supposed to do anything on top of 15%. 15% should be the maximum. And you can max out the HSA, fine, on top of the emergency funds. They'll have potential for entirely paying off our mortgage in 2 years with a guaranteed rate of return of 3%, but around 140K. But every time I say this family, I Just here throwing money away. Why not throw it all at mutual funds? That's really moves over. The mental game with paying off the house versus mutual. It's not only that; it's a risk as well. Dave says 100% of foreclosures happen on houses with mortgages. 2 years chose to go to savings route. 140K contributions in 2 years. We throw savings at the mortgage, it's gone, and we have no immediate liquid access to use for said upgrades, etc. Yeah, you don't need to do upgrades, etc. Pay off the house first. If it's like, broken plumbing or something like that, obviously you got to get that fixed. But like different cosmetic changes and so forth, you don't need to do that. The math definitely doesn't align, but I feel the mountain goal of mortgage keeps our behavior and spending habits controlled and focused on throwing every dollar towards the house better than simply savings or mutual funds. I still think we will look back and the lost opportunity of an additional 4% gains really won't be that big a deal with the deed in hand. Yeah, and that's really what it is. Financial peace. Most people would probably have more financial peace having a paid off house rather than more investing. And also, you're doing it wrong. As you can see, it says invest 15% of your household income in retirement. It doesn't say have extra in non-retirement brokerage account. It doesn't say to do any of that. Instead, that money should be applied to steps 5 and 6. 5 is probably a small percentage of the extra money that you have to throw at something, and paying off the home early would be the majority of that money. But so this person, there's 162 comments, and so I'm sure a lot of the people do the math and they want to chase those percentages and will invest more instead of paying the house off early. But that's not the advice of the gentleman for which this subreddit is named and which people are bothering to post on. Let's see, cover letter head start. How can you expect to spend on a junker car today? Doesn't say how much, maybe. Not in debt, but I'm not interested in buying an expensive car either. There's nothing on cars.com in my area for less than $2,000, let alone the $1,000 that Dave talks about. How much can I expect to spend on something to get me from A to B? As little as possible. Check out the $2,000 ones. If you want to buy a used car, take it to a mechanic of your choosing, by private sale, buy and sell both, private sale. That's the best way to get it, to buy it cheapest and to sell it for the most. Sell it for the more than a dealer will give you in trade-in. Let's see. Yeah, done with that. Nice hunt, 5360, big win so far. What up, Aslan? She said about FPU, if you feel like you would be more dedicated to the process, or you take the class, then buy FPU. Yep. However, it's not needed to follow the process. Correct. As stated, she's not good at advice on careers. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment? Sure, all the time, always. The main reason to pay up the house early is that it reduces risk. Correct. Aslan knows what she's doing. Thanks for weighing in, participating. A big win so far from Nice Hunt 5360. We really got S together since October. Last year we paid about $1,600 on credit cards, interest and fees. This year, donut year to date. Oh, that means you bought stuff with credit cards, and then the interest and fees added up to $1,600. Let's see. Caught up with monthly expenses on credit card and on about $400 worth of points year to date. Still a long way to go because of auto loan and student loan, but no more credit card interest and fee in our life. Okay, and of course, Dave Ramsey's going to recommend to completely pay off the credit card and close the account and stop using debt because you don't need it. You follow the baby steps. And you don't need it. Stopping using it. So January to almost the end of April, and you haven't used it at all. So that's a start, but the idea is not to just stop using it. You want to get it out of your life completely. What does Dave say about this new rule? Biden hike payments, good credit homers. He did talk about this already. This was posted 2 days ago. He did talk about it last week during the show. And of course, I don't remember anything specific he said about it. Actually, that's a lie. But in general about it, I would imagine he said something like, government getting involved and making people that have, done well financially pay more. Trying to soak the rich there, that kind of thing. But specifically, one thing that he did say is that it doesn't affect people that follow Dave's advice because it's only 30-year mortgages that have that. If you have a 15-year fixed, it does not affect you. And that basically is if you have good, I can't even remember what it was now. I think it was if you have a good credit score, you will pay higher interest, I think. And if you have a bit worse credit score, you will have pay lower interest, I think. But again, if you have a 15-year fixed, it doesn't apply. And let's see, horny for Coachella. All right, I just transferred the last of my credit card debt to a 0% APR card for the next 21 months. Should I sell the rest of my stocks in crypto to pay it off? Doing the transfer, that doesn't, okay, so it's 0% interest, but that doesn't do anything. That just makes you feel like you did something with it. Instead of moving it around, Dave would just rather you pay it off. And so and especially if you're thinking about selling the rest of your stocks in crypto to pay it off, then that was an unnecessary step. And maybe there were some fees in doing that you were out of, which negates any interest saved in your mind there. All right, already sold most of my stocks. Dave would say to sell single stocks anyway to pay off my LLC. It's all personal debt because you signed for it, no matter if it's an LLC or not, which is why you had to pay it. And car loan, $9K at 5%, according to the snowball method, okay? Put the leftover toward the above mentioned credit card 0% debt to go from 10.5 to 7.5K. All right, have the 7.5K left. 13 to a family member that helped me pay off credit card debt, which I racked up again, and I'm finally now understanding how bad I am with money, you think? And then $160,000 student loans. That's sizable. Hope you're a lawyer or something. Should I sell the rest of my non-retirement investments or wait a bit for them to even out with the blah blah blah? 4K stocks, Tesla, T, or whatever, and 4.2K of crypto. Yes, all that sell. Yep, if it's not in a retirement account, sell it. Any single stocks and crypto should be sold and applied to the debt. I'm down on all of these, almost even with Bitcoin, and most stocks I sold before this were also for a loss. Sure. The one bright spot of that is with a loss, there's no capital gains. Although there will be capital gains on what you make above what you paid for it, not on what the high was. Because the way this stuff works is, if you don't sell it at the high, you never had that much money. So you have to think about it like that. It's like, if you don't sell at a loss, you haven't lost anything. And if you don't sell on the high, you never had any of that money all the way to the high. You just don't have it, because it's not real until you buy or sell. So, but a lot of people, they will count that as a loss, but it's only a loss. It's only not a loss if you sell right at the high. So you cannot think of it like that. But yeah, I mean, almost everybody can. When they say that it's they lost that much money, you haven't lost it till you sold, and unless you sell, you haven't made that much money. Anyone think the show will react to the Netflix series How to Get Rich? I watched the first episode of that. It's possible they will. They commented on I was blind and lots of TikTok stuff, so I'd be interested in hearing them speak on Rameth's method. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what his method was. I think it was pay off debt, but I don't think he's totally against using debt. I don't think. I'm trying to remember what it is, but there were basically, it's just like the people that do their debt-free streams, most of them, before you hear about Dave Ramsey or before you get wise from another source, you just do stupid stuff with money. You just rack up debt, and some of the people just crazy stuff. Like, there was a couple that they both had money spread around in and we're not talking about a lot. We're just talking about, maybe $1,000 here and there, in like 8 or 9 different banks and savings accounts. And they each had that many. And the husband was saying something about, well, if you spread it out, it seems like more money, which is ridiculous. So it's just that, and then no communication, especially one of the couples that was on that show, on that first episode, no communication whatsoever about it. And a weird situation where the wife in the couple that had the least amount of communication. It's a weird situation where the wife was not only a princess that wanted everything, she also was like the alpha because she was working and the husband was staying home with the kids. So she was the alpha, and also she was a princess because she wanted every wanted to like she wanted her husband to buy her gifts and stuff, and he stayed home and wasn't making any money. She was making all the money, and so it's just basically like that. I don't know if I'll watch any more of it. I may eventually. I'm trying to remember if there was anything about his method. He gave them like notebooks to write in and such, and they had to do budgets and make a list of all their debt and such. And so, like I said, I think he wanted them to pay their debt off, but I'm not sure that he's totally against using debt. Let's see if the comments give any. Oh, Dave has been spoken about being approached for a show like that. Interesting. See if it's I'm just seeing if it says anything with anything about the gentleman's plan on there. What do they agree on? Baby step forward, sometimes the answer is always on rent, always goes up and you eventually pay off the house, right? Other guy's Dave-ish, I'd say he'll get you rich too, but his system is as concrete as Dave's. I don't think so. I don't think Ramit's system has millions of documented success stories like Dave's does. So I don't think so. It's possible. I don't know if Ramit has written books or anything like that. I think we did that one similar to every dollar, but for Canadians, there's a YNAB. You need a budget app. There's several other ones. Oh, I guess we did all these. Okay, so in advance, so we wouldn't have dead air, I went to the end of the list of questions that I've answered before. Oh, goodness, let's see. What else to say? People with high credit scores will pay higher interest. Yeah, so I was right. Rates to subsidize people that don't pay their bills, which is exactly what led to the CFG in 2008. That's right, subprime mortgages. That was politicians, I think mostly Democrats. Probably some Republicans signed on to it as well, but the whole everybody ought to have a house thing. No, everybody can't afford it. And so that's what happened. A lot of them defaulted on those mortgages. Let's see. Aslan was not impressed with How to Get Rich. Feels way too much like reality television, which has nothing to do with reality. Yeah. What up, Sid? Saving account for baby. We have mortgage and auto loan, but no credit card debt. About 1.5K in emergency fund. It should just be 1,000. But, whatever. if that's going to be the only way you're Dave-ish, you know, I guess we can still be friends. Just found out my wife was pregnant. We're thinking of saving up some money for baby. Well, okay. Boop, 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 doo. All right. So what you do is you go in stork mode, and that is basically an emergency. So you pause the debt snowball, or which is what the step that you're on, but you pause the baby steps. Right here, you're on debt. You do have debt other than the house, so you're on baby step 2. And so you pause right there and just pile up cash. So, let's see. Based on last month, you usually have blah, 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 blah. Baby's probably 1.5 months, so we have about 8 months to go. Okay, here are my quick questions. Do you think $800 a month is enough for baby emergency fund? No, you just pile it all up. You just save everything. You just pay minimums to bills, and you just pile up cash until mommy and baby come home and are safe and sound. And then you take that pile of cash and then you apply it right back to baby step 2 where you were to begin with. So what will be the best savings account to keep baby emergency fund? It's not a separate one. You just pile up cash, and you can keep that separate from the 1.5K, either in a different account or just in your mind. You keep it separate. But 1K of our emergency fund is in PayPal with 4% interest rate and $500 local banks. Okay, it doesn't matter where you keep your emergency fund, but you have to have it liquid. You have to have immediate access to it, meaning debit card or check writing. Yeah, 3 to 5 days to deposit, withdraw money from PayPal. That is not going to work. 3 to 5 days is not going to work if you have an emergency. So that's bad. Bad. You're trying to make a little bit of money on the interest, sure. It's not much. So you need to have that liquid. But yeah, no emergency fund, savings account for baby. I thought they meant actually for the baby to have like upon 18th birthday or something like that. But I think they're talking about for the any costs associated with hospital, et cetera, for birth. But yeah, you just pile up all money. Alrighty, Murky Peak 3666. WWDD Flare, what would Dave do? Whoops. Oh, that's already 150%. Okay. Help making a financial decision at work. There's a lot of details. Try to skim it. I already kind of know what to do, but I want to make sure I'm the best decision. Just became behavior analyst. Preface by saying that because when I feel to set up, confuses people when it comes to the pay. They make a lot of money in the state I currently live on. Great. Full-time technician, making $55K a year with one agency. Going rate in New Jersey, $90 an hour. Sizable raises each year. Can go from 65K to 75K and so on. Temptation to just make a ton of money hourly is still there. Felt really upset when only offers 65K. Don't work there. Summing it up, he actually offered me $95 an hour for BCBA related duties and $75 an hour if I do direct therapy with clients. With my current caseload, that ends up being around $45.50 per paycheck before taxes and deductions, as long as no one cancels and I work all hours. Right now at $55K a year, I make $2,229 before taxes and deductions. So I don't foresee $65K being that much more per check than what I make now in reference? Am I making the right choice? Or should I just take the salary and wait for the better pay coming in the next few years? You don't. No one knows. Always in motion is the future. So we don't know what kind of job you could find in a few years. You just need the field obviously better than anyone, or probably anybody commenting on this anyway, including me. And so you know the field, you know how the money goes, how the payouts go on that. And so if you think you can make more money, or if choosing one or the other comes with the caveats and you don't like the caveats, then don't do it. Alrighty, from Danny Heels. I think that person has posted before. Baby step 2 flare there again. It is pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. I mean, smallest to largest. 16K home repair. Hi everyone, seeking some advice on a hefty home repair during baby step 2. I'm new to Dave Ramsey, but lived with Dave-ish for the last 6 months before I knew about the baby steps. Well, if you don't know about Dave, then it's not Dave-ish. I guess it could still be called that by people that do know him. Here's where I'm at. Single household. Supposed to do a double household? You just mean you're single person? 120K salary, 83K take home. Yeah, okay. New homeowner within the last year. So bought the house before Dave as well. So live in a simple townhome, but was not financially prepared for home ownership and only put 3% down like an idiot. Yes. Okay. Mistakes were made. Debt, 1 credit card, 0% till August. Doesn't matter. Interest doesn't matter. $5,500 left, will be paid off June 1st or earlier. So that year, so that's pretty good. That's progress. Anyway. 120K salary. Let's see how much the mortgage is. If he says car loan 34K, 8%. I was going to clean up this mess in 1 year, but now to be determined. Oh, because you bought the house. All right. You might want to sell it and move down in car. I was feeling pretty good about my plan until today when I found it would cost $16K to repair my sagging floors. Foundation repairs needed. Yikes. Yup. It can wait up to 6 months, but not much longer as it's a serious issue. Yeah, don't walk on that particular floor. Stay around the walls and wait as long as you can to do that. I would at least pay. Yeah, I would pay off that credit card again by June 1st, and I would move down in car probably. Sell that one and get a beater, and then start saving for the floor repair. I still pay off the credit card by June and then use all my cash that was going to that to save up for the 16K home repair ASAP, so I don't have to take on more debt and continue to make the minimum payment on my car. This is what Dave would do. Dave would tell you to sell the car and about the floors, foundation. It's rough to get an estimate from people that you would pay to do the job because they can often make it sound more like an emergency than it is. So, I mean, if it's an emergency, then you wouldn't pay off the credit card. You would use that money to pay the for the Flores Foundation. Baby step 0 is where you decide you're not going to take on any more debt. You're not going to add to your debt. That's not going to be an option any longer. So, if worst comes to worst, if you have emergencies, you cash flow them as best you can, and just put minimums on the debt. But yeah, probably the 34K car, they would say sell that one for sure. And yeah, and if it's not an emergency, if it's just in one room, try to stay out of that room. Aslan would be asking a lot of questions about why it has to be done in 6 months. What's the real risk there? Right, where did 6 months come from? The 6 months came from the person that gave the estimate, or if it was just your friend over, actually have a somebody in that field to give you an estimate for that. Let's see. If you have a bill that comes in during the month, I think that means it's supposed to be during. I had a friend with a speech impediment. When he said during, it sounded like doing. And he spelled it wrong because of that. Let's see. During the month. Like, your electric bill and you pay it, you're not in debt. You're not. If you had a credit card bill that came in and you paid it, you're not in debt. I don't think that's a reversal, because he still doesn't want you to have the card. He wants you to pay it off and then close the account. But yeah, if you swipe the card and don't pay for something other than just swiping a credit card, then yes, you're in that amount. And then if you pay the card completely off at the end of the month, then you're not in debt. So you're constantly going back and forth. That's not him reversing. That's just saying what the truth is. So it's not to whether you're in debt or not. It's so that you don't play with credit cards, so you don't use them anymore. People get a spur under their saddle. What is it? A snake in their boots or something. Whatever saying you want to say about that, but they get like, focused in on like one little like side thing that doesn't even have anything to do with what Dave talks about, or or his advice. They get focused on that, and that's really a waste of time. So, I mean, the point is, and missing the point is what they're doing, because he just wants you to not use credit cards. And it's not whether you're in debt or not for how long when you swipe a credit card. That is minuscule in the grand scheme of the thing, and of course misses the point. As I say, don't let politics or religion scare you away from freedom. I'm liberal and am agnostic, but I'm a devout follower of Dave Ramsey. His advice is sound, and he has helped my husband and I get out of debt. It's correct. My husband and I is correct there. When it precedes the verb, afterwards it would be my husband and me and my husband. we have a comfortable life now without constant financial anxiety. Every single person, whether they realize it or not, has a political agenda. Don't let the fact that Dave is conservative cause you to discount his teachings. They definitely work. That's true. Some people are going to do that. They will let his politics or religion decide whether they're going to follow his great financial advice instead of just taking his good financial advice. But that's the way it goes. That damn floating eye. Baby step 7 flare there. Hey everyone, feeling a bit nostalgic? Doesn't know, is there any place I can listen to older episodes before the format change? I'm probably looking for probably 10 to 12 years or so ago. No. It's only been on YouTube for what, 5 years now? Something like that? Oh, there's Dropbox. There's some, I guess, maybe. No, somebody posted something. Or found something posted on the Dropbox. Interesting. That's a lot of them. Might be able to search with older parameters on the YouTube. Boo, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. Since this payout credit card, then stack cash fast and crazy to fix the floors, foundations, then keep getting cash fast and crazy and pay off the car. Bam, done. Next, that's what Sid says. Sid, you're not going to sell the $34,000 car? Again, we don't know if there's, I mean, it could be underwater, but if not a lot underwater. That seems like that would be a significant thing to do to get rid of the $34,000 car. Minute examination or minute examination, we don't know, 918. Progressive old and new policies from what? Oh, Progressive insurance, I guess. I had liability insurance, liability only. You got full coverage on that thing? Liability only. That's from Twister. That's when Helen Hunt was thinking about using his nice pretty red truck for dangerous twistery work. And Bill Paxton said liability only. I had liability insurance with Progressive and closed it out at the end of the last month. They told me I had no outstanding issues and close it. Now with my cheaper and newer policy, I'm getting notified that I owe for a missed payment on the old policy. Lawyer said that it's not valid because they shouldn't have let me close my account. Correct. If you had a missed payment, then why would they let you close your account? That doesn't make sense. And to explain to them that the policy they gave me was also unreasonably overpriced. That's beside the point. You still decided to take it, to pay for it. They want to send me to collections on the 7th. Any advice? Probably your lawyer would be better for advice than the Reddit, than just anybody. But yeah, I wouldn't think that again that they could do that. But the problem is you'd have to sue them probably. I mean, you could possibly see. I mean, if it's just one payment and you're paying by the month, it's not going to be that much, so it may not be worth the squeeze there. Juice may not be worth the squeeze on that. So if it was just if it's just like one monthly payment, maybe you can see if you can settle for less before they send it to collections. They may not, and so in order to get it not sent to collections, you might have to do that. And again, you wouldn't want to pay a lawyer to get you out of having to pay 1 month of just liability insurance. So yeah, because it's not going to be that expensive at all. This is from the J Tails. Baby step 3 flare, and of course we know what baby step 3 is. Well, they have 2 down here. I guess they had that and then they changed. Debt free. Never thought I'd see the other side of baby step 2, but we're here. Truly believed it wasn't past. $360,000 gone forever. So if that's only baby step 2 done, and that's 360, that doesn't include a house. My goodness, we must have maybe 2 surgeons there. Let's see if the OP says. Yeah. Nope, doesn't. The true key to getting out of debt was a compromised partner who wanted to slow down and enjoy life. Went a lot slower than she would have liked, but she still has marriage, and the debt is gone. All the same. I think it was a female there somewhere. Sorry if I mixed up the genders there. Just trying to see if there was a range of income between 160 to 350-ish, so they're making money doing something. Alrighty. Cool. Always good to be out of debt. Has anyone purchased a home through manual underwriting? That's from No Judgment 383. Husbands and I did one of these recently. I didn't. Sid did. Currently debt free. Have $40K in savings and paying for graduate school tuition out of pocket. That's called cash flowing. Putting it in the budget. Our goal in the next 18 months is to buy our first house. Excuse me. Some comments I hear about manual underwriting is that it's impossible to find a mortgage that doesn't have a crazy interest rate. Intend to give 20% down and get a 15-year mortgage. Try Churchill Mortgage. They know all about manual underwriting. Dave recommends them. I'm starting to get nervous about purchasing a home, but my interest rate is going to be more than those with good credit. Any done manual underwriting or have any advice? Sid did, and again, Churchill Mortgage would be where you want to go for that. 20% down is wise because that takes you out of that gets you out of paying the PMI. And if your credit score is indeterminable now, in 18 months you don't have time to do anything about that anyway, so that ship has sailed. Yeah, a lot of people saying they keep a credit score for just that reason. Not advised by Dave Ramsey. Baby step 2 complete from Visual Bear 8347. As of April 4th, debt free. Now on to saving from a fully funded emergency fund. Excellent. Baby step 1. I'm so confused on why it's so important that it be in cash. Could someone explain? Why does it matter if it's in cash or just in my bank account? Some people, if they had it in cash, would be more likely to spend it on stupid stuff. Some people, if they just had it in their checking account, they would be more likely to just swipe a debit card and spend it as well. So I don't think it needs to be in cash. I don't think Dave ever said definitely have that in cash. It has to be liquid. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Oh, doesn't matter if it's cash or just in my bank account. Okay, yeah. So as long as it's liquid, it's fine. Bank account's fine. Dave often tells a story about one lady got a picture frame, and basically got the cash and put it inside that picture frame, and then put the picture frame inside a closet, so that it would be kind of hidden, but also as you could have it, and then but also it's harder to get to than just swiping a card or just grabbing free cash from a drawer or something, or under your mattress. Oh, we got a Dave story. Baby step 6. Came across Dave on the radio in the late 90s. Am I still? Oh, I always scooch over to that side. I need to. And then I try to move the. Oh, looking at the wrong screen. One moment. Let me look at the. Yeah, that should be all right. Okay. Came across Dave on the radio in the late 90s while surfing the AM dial for Rush. Assume that means Limbaugh. Baby step 6 player Spunky in Bama. Stop tuning and listening while mop the floor in tiny apartment in Birmingham. I was in late 20s and dead broke. Spouse was in grad school. We had a few credit cards and some student loans that are small by today's standards. Dave put the hay where the goat could get it. My words, not his. Explaining budgets, the debt snowball, and mutual funds in a way I could understand. Yes, he does use small words. His books are very quick reads. Even though they have different kind of books now that are called quick reads, that are shorter books. But his is very easy to understand. The advice is very easy to understand. But my spouse and I grew up in poverty in the 1970s and 1980s and weren't taught anything about personal finance, right? Signed on volunteer at seminar. He was giving at a local church and volunteered so my spouse and I could go gratis. That means free. I was mesmerized. It was as if he knew me and what we were going through. That's because he went through the exact same thing. I loved his genuine empathy and compassion, and that Dave would stay until everyone had been helped. Not signing autographs, but praying with the single moms in crisis, the widows who just lost husbands, and couples facing bankruptcy. I was deeply moved. Then took the team, all 10 of them, and the volunteers out to dinner. I sat across from Dave. He was warm and friendly. Signed on to Giraffe School for potential FPU coordinators. Spoke at length to Louis Falzetti, the director. Mr. Falzetti had a compelling story and I found him warm, authentic, and reliable. He'd been a gospel minister prior to taking the FPU reins and had a deep commitment to his work. I plugged in the VCR and led FPU for a number of years. Friendships we made were invaluable. It took us several years to debt snowball our debt, but we did. Visited Financial Peace, HQ in Nashville, Franklin, Tennessee, actually, and received the nickel tour from Dave himself, reacquainted myself with folks on his team, and left energized to spread the message of hope. Fast forward 25 years, my husband is a specialty surgeon, and we are long since out of debt, have put a gaggle of children through college sans debt, that means without debt. Yet on some level, it's weird. I feel like we outgrew Dave. We have a financial planner, a wealth manager, and a tax advisor. Dave and the people I knew through him will always have a special place in my heart. Having said that, I am dismayed at some of the news reports and social media as of late. The lion doesn't need to tell the other animals in the jungle that he's the lion. It makes me sad to hear of things going on lately. And Dave one-up folks who has more money when addressing critics. I was shocked to hear of the loaded gun and Twitter incidents. Lions don't need to do that. If I learned anything from him is that what we have is God's money, not ours. All right, I'm just using it. I met Dave when I was broke and stupid with Murphy living in my room. We had no spare. I clung to him and God. As we clicked and clawed our way out of debt, Dave gave us the confidence and hope to know that we were more than where we were at the time. It saddens me to think that there may not be another to carry his torch. I think it'll be fine. I think there's plenty of people there that will run the company finally and continue to help millions and millions of people, regardless of the gun incident and news reports and social media, which some people think social media is news reports. Sure, it's fine, I guess. Baby step 2, chipping away at baby step 2. I found out I'm getting a bonus at work this month, and with that and my tax refund, I'll be able to pay off another one of my student loans. Excellent, leaving me with just one left. It's so exciting to know at the end of this month I'll have $73,000 debt gone with $39,000 left to go. It's still a lot, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel coming soon, right? You got more gone than you got left to go. So you are over halfway there, closer to 3/4 of the way there. So excellent. Christina Ellis officially left Ramsey. We knew that. I saw Dave posted, just having to look up at where it says follow my team, and realized Christina was taken off. It was already speculated a couple of weeks, but now it's official. I wish her the best. She ventures outside of Ramsey. Yes, she left to do her own thing, to build her own brand, just as AO did before her. And you can keep it locked to both of them on their social media. Aslan says, whatever barrier that helps you think about your purchase a little longer is normal good to help you reduce your frivolous spending. That is why you should sleep on any big purchases, and why it is good to have someone you can ask if the purchase is a good idea. That's from those 2 things from Aslan in the chat. More emergencies than the average household. This is from Lucky1403. Is that a ironic nickname? Username, rather? My entire life was one emergency after the other. What time is it? One emergency after the other. Let's check while I'm thinking about it. Nope, not posted yet. Alrighty. Still futures. Those are reset. Those are yesterday, I think. All right, more emergencies than the average household. Entire life is one emergency after another. Seriously, you name it, I have dealt with it. 39-year-old husband was recently let go from job because he's injured at work and can't do the only job they seem to want him to do. So our household income dropped in half. He has been looking for other jobs, but he has 20 years of experience doing a job he can no longer do. That sucks, indeed. He has applied to management positions with no luck. In the last month, the water heater leaked and flooded the first floor. Air fryer caught on fire. They're not supposed to do that. Scorching the kitchen counters, and the washer died, unable to be repaired. Unfortunately, we have only room to stack them, and they have to be matching pairs. So need to get a washer and dryer. Oh, I see. Okay. That was 5K in emergencies, just as much. So glad that 1K emergency fund is so helpful. I started a donation site in January, but only received $40 in donation. That didn't even cover gas money. I had to give out. Seriously, this is normal in life. When does crap turn around and stop hitting me hard? I can never catch up because it's always 2 steps forward, 20 backwards. All right. Okay. I was thinking dishwasher. You mean the clothes washer? Well, what you would do is you would save up for a new one. If it can't be repaired, as you say, I might get another somebody else to look at it to see if they can repair it. If you only have room to stack them, what you can do is they have a thing called a laundromat that you can go to and use while you save up the money for a new washer dryer set, so you can stack them. And that is something that you can control them breaking and so forth. And even if the kitchen counters are scorched, you can still make sandwiches on them. Obviously, the air fryer, you should probably throw that away. Let's see. Water heater leaked and flooded the first floor. So you don't say about what you're doing about that, but probably the 39-year-old husband. That's a kid to me. So he needs to keep looking for a better job. Something, let's see, can't do the only job they seem to want him to do. I can relate to that. Amazon wouldn't transfer me when I couldn't quite do as physical a job as they wanted me to do. And they wouldn't transfer me. So I left that job, but I found one of equal pay. So that I will have no problem doing at all. So thing is to just not give up, never surrender, never give up. So, but yeah, he has to keep looking. You can't call it quits and just say, well, I guess this is it. I got to take this half of income job here, and that's all. That's the only choice you have. It's not the only choice you have. I know it sucks when stuff like that happens. Absolutely. I'm not saying it doesn't. But, you can give up or not give up. This from Obama Lamajer. Increasing Roth IRA while in college. Negative ghostwriter. The pattern is full. While you're in college, you keep saving up cash. Assuming you're like living at home or something like that, or you're like not older. Let's see. Been maximizing my Roth in college since I was 18 because I've been doing college online. And I'm transferring in final 2 years. Finance major, most likely at in-person university. I've never heard of that one. And my grades have gotten me a pretty low cost of college. Cool. And the rest I will pay with my college fund. Excellent. My question is how to best way to max out my Roth still. If I am most likely only working winters and summers, I could get a job on the weekends, but it may take away from the college experience. I really appreciate any help you can provide. Let's see. The rest I will pay with my college fund. Now, do you have enough in that college fund to pay for both years completely? And books and whatever else you need? If not, you keep that cash instead of putting it into a retirement account where it is stuck until retirement, unless you want to withdraw it with significant penalty and, of course, taxes on it. So for college kids, I'm going to call this a kid, so maybe about 20 now. 20 years old now, so that's still a kid to me. For kids, it's you just pile up cash. You don't try to invest. Now, if you don't use all that cash, if you graduate and get your big boy or big girl job, and you have a big pile of money left over, then that you apply to the baby steps. So hopefully no debt. So that would basically be your emergency fund. And if you have any money left over after that, you apply that to, baby step 4, investing. But generally, it's not save up a bunch of cash and put it in your investing account. It is your retirement account. It's 25%. 15%. Got mixed up. Sleepy. It's 15% of gross income, and that is like out of each check you get. And not like a huge amount saved ahead of time, which I guess you could put it in there, but generally you might want to save that for a definitely full emergency fund first before investing, and you might even want to save it for house down payment if it's anything like that. But you often get that people want to start doing other stuff with money earlier, like investing and so forth. But the Ramsey advice is just pile up cash. Car shopping help part 2. Hey, it's me. I'm the problem. Hey, it's me. 9123. Baby step 2, flare. I don't like to talk about my flare. Alrighty. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I just saw another post about car shopping help, and this is something I've been thinking a lot about recently too. Would like advice from fellow Ramsey followers. My goodness gracious me. Where's the golden question? Here we go. Should I, none of this probably matters. None of it matters. None of it. Assuming baby step 2, that means you have debt. So that's, let's see. Oh, would like to keep current vehicle. Okay. What is it? Let's find out. $871 a month for car payment. Bye. You're not keeping that. I believe I still owe about $40,000 on this. Nope. We'll be done paying off in a couple of years. How? Oh, special low interest rate 1.9. Still. All right. Poor driving record. Realize I could be saving or investing these funds. No, you couldn't. You would be paying off other debt. Is there other debt? Oh, student loan, little CC debt. So no, you wouldn't be saving or investing it. You would be paying off the other debt if you're going to follow the Ramsey advice. So yeah, you're not keeping that car. Sorry. No boyfriend, house he owns. Okay, beep, 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 doo. They're getting engaged soon, though. Starting family next 2 years. That will require, preferably have a nice SUV. It's not a law. You don't need a nice SUV to haul the babies and dogs around in. She got it all planned out. Boyfriend makes about $95K a year. That's good. You got it all planned out, though. And is in better financial situation than me. I would assume. We'll combine finances once married. Excellent. Going question. So I sell this vehicle? Yes. Temporarily get into something in the 10 to 15K window. Not even that expensive. as cheap as you can get. Get a nice cheap one. Definitely not get a nice cheap one. Take it to a mechanic to check out while you're test driving it, or ask the owner to take it. Buy it private sale, get a better price than a dealer will give you. Until I meet my other financial goals, until 10 to 15K. I mean, that would be an improvement, but you don't need to spend $10,000 on a car. You don't need it. It is 9:30 Eastern time. Let's check. That's a negative, good buddy. It would be right there. Again, replays the past 2 days. Mod assures us there will be a new show today. Velocity banking. Anyone heard of this? Pros and cons. Oh, Michi the cleaner. Michi the cleaner posted before. Always trying to do like the new thing. Yeah, I can't. Just in case it's not in there. I don't remember exactly what the dealio is with it. I think it might be, is that where you have a whole life policy and you bank for yourself that way? Oh, also known as the HELOC strategy. Beep, beep, boo, doo. What do you think Dave's advice is going to be about that? I should have asked before I went beep, beep, boo, doo. Is a personal finance approach and a type of banking that uses a home equity line of credit to leverage. Do we do leverage on Dave's plan? No, we do not. Disposable income to pay down your primary mortgage while saving the amortized interest. Negative, good buddy. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. So yeah, pros and cons. Pros and cons that it is more risk because you are doing a home equity line of credit, and that is taking your equity out of your house. That means you basically owe more on your house than just your mortgage. This is the original car shopping help by somebody before the other person did the sequel. If someone has 25, 30K in the bank total without budget income, what do you mean without budget? What does that mean? In the bank total without budget. Does that mean like extra savings or whatever? Income $1,300, $1,500 per 2-week check, debt free and not a whole lot of expenses, but needs a used but reliable car. How much should they pay for a car? As little as possible. Next question. As little as possible. Again, you take it to your mechanic. You take it to your mechanic, a mechanic you find. You either take it there when you're test driving it, or you ask the person selling it, do a private sale, and you ask them to do that, and that's nothing that I haven't done. The owner of the car I bought for, I think this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The owner was more than happy to take it to my mechanic, and they do that free. Some of them do that free in hopes that if they find something wrong, you will buy the car and have it fixed through them. Some do it free, other might charge you. It's well worth it. Yeah. How much should I? This from A Keith Will 33088. Baby step 7 flare. That means he's all done. That means it's to build wealth and give a lot of it away. Area. Let's see. How much should I increase my 401k contribution? I currently contribute 10% to my 401k. Doing it wrong. Should be doing at least 15% of gross. I'm getting a 3% raise at work. How much should I increase my 401k contribution? Thank you for your answer. Should be 15%. You should have been doing that all along. Technically, if you haven't done that, you're not past step 4. If you're not doing 15. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if someone happens to mention that. 15% total. But after you're in baby step 7, you can put whatever you want into retirement. You can invest whatever you want. Even in, just like a regular non-retirement brokerage account, you can invest as much as you want. MacBook, used or new? Used. Why does it have to be a MacBook? Boom, 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 boom. Doesn't include what? The 2015 does include what I need, including 1080p video editing, but if used could have unexpected issues, and return is only 30 days. The new one could have issues as well. Brand new Mac 1 Air, GB RAM for $800. Also, I will hook up the laptop to a monitor when at home, but will take it with me when I need it when traveling, which isn't often. For that, I prefer the 13-inch. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a laptop to use for traveling 3 or 4 times a year. Why get a laptop? You're gonna pay more money, and it's not going to run as well as a desktop, because a desktop has more cooling opportunities, etc., etc. And so you're going to pay for basically the exact same components. The components will run slower in a laptop because of the compacted space, so it's going to be hotter. So it has to throttle down, so it's not going to run as well. So you would get a desktop unless you absolutely have to take it somewhere. So yeah, for that $800, you could get a much better desktop computer than you're talking about this whatever's in this M1 Air. With 8 gigabytes, you can get a computer that has 16 gigabytes of RAM in it. And that will work a lot better for video editing. 10K gets you a great used car, indeed. That's what I said. Probably don't need to do as much as 10K. But 10K is better than $871 in payments a month. What would Dave do? Flare there from Strong Ad 5324. Should I move on to baby step 4 as a 32-year-old or stack my cash? Are you in college? Maybe. Let's see. Account balances. Checking 1, checking 2. Why do we have 2 checking accounts, sir? Maybe they saw the how to get rich episode 1. And if you spread the money around, it seems like it's more. I wonder why. Let's see. Savings one, 2738. 403B is 17,000 already. If you have a 403B, you're already 403B. They probably make you do that. Depending if you're a teacher, that they make you invest. So that's not an option. Let's see. Monthly income is $44.87. Spend about $22.50 on expenses and miscellaneous spending. I get nervous when I see that. Miscellaneous spending. That leaves a lot open. Does it say that in the budget? Do you even have a budget? I may end up moving in July. And I'm thinking about stacking as much cash as possible. Yes, what is it? April, May, June, July. Yeah. If you might move, yes, you have to have moving expenses on top of your emergency fund. I don't necessarily see, unless checking two is a emergency fund, or checking two and three combined as emergency fund. You're doing it wrong. I'm also concerned about my current balance in my retirement. Well, you're gonna move, so that's the immediate issue. So that comes before you worried about retirement. You should be doing 15% in retirement after you have your full emergency fund, and that's not where you can spend on miscellaneous spending things that just sits there forever and doesn't do anything if you have no emergencies. Now you can put that in a high yield savings account and make a little interest on that, but it does have to be an account where you have immediate access. A lot of people like to put it in somewhere where it's 3 days to transfer. Emergencies don't let you know 3 to 5 days in advance before they happen. So this is going to be stack your cash because you're going to move. So until you have that, but depending on, maybe some of this savings or checking is earmarked for moving expenses. I don't know how you have your life set up there. Let's see if the OP gave any extra. Checking number 2 is the emergency fund. Okay, get paid weekly, so there is more flexibility when it comes to budgeting. I hope I get to 8K sooner, then I can focus on building that retirement. Visit Parents' Day. Got a nice one. I owe $2,300 in back taxes from 2019. Thankfully, I do have cash stashed away. Where, other than what you said up there? But this is why it's so important to have an emergency fund. Well, indeed. But is your cash stashed away any part of this? So probably need to be revisited. You have a lot of stuff that I would talk to you about if I were your financial advisor, or if you called me and asked me a question. I'm sure Dave would if you called him and asked him as well. He would get down into the nitty gritty on all that. What is Dave's view on medical debt? You arrange payments for him. You can do that. I know he has zero debt except mortgage, but health isn't exactly a luxury item or convenience buy. Yeah, you work out a payment plan with them. It is debt, but if there's no way around it. Let's see, which something like that, it probably isn't. If it's what's that called? Where you volunteer for it, where you choose to do it rather than it being a health issue. It was like cosmetic surgery. That's a big no, but if it's something to, fix your body, or, even save your life, that's definitely a thing where it's got to happen, and so you just work out a payment plan with the hospital. 7-digit club just hit 2 commas. Okay, cool. 10, hopefully not in debt. 10 years and from zero net worth. Okay, good. And so 2 commas, that means millionaire net worth. 10 years from zero net worth with $275K in debt, paying mortgage with HELOC. To career change, 2 kids through college and debt free. I see the path to financial independence completing mostly following the baby steps, but admittedly Davish in some aspects of my journey. Went from complete anxiety over my situation to excitement about the future. Excellent. Used car market, ridiculous. Buy newer used. I love the way it rides, but it's had a lot of problems. If you fixed them, it doesn't have those problems anymore. My trusted mechanic sent me to a transmission guy after my check engine light came on for a second time in 2 months. Transmission guy says my transmission is going bad. Oh, okay. It's going to be a 7700 fix. Thought about getting a second opinion, but it's been a 16-year-old car and has other issues. Might as well get another one. Sure. Take that 7700 and get another car with that. I don't want to drive any old thing. Beep, 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 doo. Yep. Don't want to drive any old thing. That is you putting parameters on it. And you're painting yourself into a corner that way. Look for vehicles in similar class as the Murano, blah, 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 cars. But they're all, I don't care about cars. But they're all 25 to 30K used. So if it's less than 25K, is it any old thing? And some of them 6 to 8 years old. Big deal. That's less than 16 years old, like your other car. Fully funded TSP, Roth IRA, and HSA. With what's left over, I invest $100 a month into index funds. Is there more? 136 comments on this. But oh, we got the whole thing on there. Dave Ramsey recommended CarMax, among other places, to get a used car. Private sale probably would be best. No debt. Don't buy a. I have $18,000 I can put down on a car. Do not buy a new car unless you are have $1 million net worth. Dave says you shouldn't buy a new car because you can't take the interest that happens as soon as you drive it off. I mean the depreciation that happens as soon as you drive off the lot. The emergency fund shouldn't keep growing forever. That's not how it's works. You're doing it wrong. Vacation fund, General savings, adding to it. They should be added to the baby steps. You're doing it wrong. No kids. If it matters, I have about 200 left over after contributing to all my funds and expenses. Live in Northern Virginia. DMV, not property tax on vehicles here. The newer your car is, the higher the tax. The car loses value. I don't know what that means. Should I get new or used? Always used. Unless you have $1 million net worth, always used. And don't want to drive any old thing. Tough. So see, it's when you put the parameters on it, like you say, well, that's not an option. When you take options off the table, then that does make it more difficult on you to do smart financial things. Should get a nap. Still not on. Sometimes it doesn't show up on this page. But might show up. There? Nope. No. It isn't. Alright. Well, let's keep going for a little while then. It's from Solid Afternoon 4116. What would Dave do, Flair? Baby steps 4, 5, and 6 need to buy back time in the federal system. If I could buy back time. Yeah. Wife is in a GS position and did 12 years active military. Thank her for her service. It's in our best interest to buy back our time. So her military time, I got you now, counts toward her federal retirement. It's going to be $12K. I have an emergency fund of $30K. It's not an emergency. Does it have to be done at any specific time? Do you have a amount of time before you have to get that money into them? Rest of everything is in retirement options at this point are Definitely will be nap time after I'm done with this stream. Option 1, pay it in a lump sum from my emergency fund, pay myself back over the course of the year. That depends if I don't think it's an emergency, so that's going to be a negatory good buddy. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. I can't contribute to my Roth this year, or at least we'll have to catch up this year if you do that. It's not an emergency. Let's see. Do the withdrawals out of my wife's check until it's done, which will take forever. Emergency fund stays, and we contribute to our Roth still for the year. You could stop contributing to the Roths and use that for it, in addition to out of your wife's check. So apparently that's an option. So that means it doesn't have to happen in any particular amount of time, and so it's not an emergency. Do the withdrawals and pay it down like we're in baby step 2 till it's done. No, it's not an emergency, so no. Unless there's something I'm missing on it, but if the withdrawals can come out of the wife's check until it's done, which will take forever, why does it matter how long it takes? I'm not in the military, so I don't know exactly how that works. Maybe it'll say here, pay it off now. It's better to owe yourself than owe someone else. Why? You're not owing it to them. It's you deciding to pay that. So it's not a debt. It's an expense you are choosing to take. It doesn't have to be paid off all at one time either. So you don't just look to see if the stocks are on sale right now. You don't just say no, you should not stop your Roth. It depends on the situation. What you want to do. Let's say personally I take 12K out of the 30K. I can't think of an emergency that a Fed employee would face that would require 30K on hand right now. You'll be fined. Boop, boop, boop. Horrible advice, Queso Husker. Not paying myself back diligently like it would if it were someone else. That's right. That is right. Let's see. Her years are more important than your Roth, correct? I think that's correct mathically. Let's see. I can be done with pre-tax money. Verify this. You don't want to do that with post-tax funds. I'm exaggerating, really. But forever means it's going to take us a while to pay this off, and I'll have to hold off on pretty much every other type of investing in kids' college, vacations, etc. Yeah, do that. That's what you do. I feel like this is baby step 2 since the debt we have to pay like anything else. You can treat it however you want to, and baby step 2 is fine. Yeah, hold off on every other type of investing in kid college and vacations there. But the thing is, it doesn't seem like there's a limit for when you have to have that done. And a little bit out of each check, what's wrong with that? Let's see, you don't know if you have 3 years to the day she started as a federal civilian to buy back her time before it starts to accrue interest. So you may be able to just hold off on buying it back right away, right? Just learn this. She hits 3 years in September. Oh, so does that mean it does? Oh, it starts to accrue interest. Okay, like I said, I don't know exactly how it works there, but if it doesn't have to be done in time, just let it be out of her check. People a lot of times make things harder than it needs to be. Again, I won't say I know exactly how all that works, though. Smart Vista Pros worth it. They're better than the dumb Smart Vista Pros. Oh, Space Flamingo, we know him. He's a troll. Let's see, but are Smart Vista Pros worth it? What Dave not telling you? Okay, well, they vet the Smart Vista Pros. I don't know what the vetting process is, but they do vet the Smart Vista Pros. And supposedly they are supposed to, if someone comes to them and says they were referred by Dave Ramsey, or if you get them through the website, they know you were referred by Dave Ramsey, then they should be following his advice for you. And sometimes, a lot of times, it seems non-Dave advice stuff is what makes them a financial advisor the most money. So they often, some halos slip on those Smart Vista Pros. That does happen, and some of them just won't do Dave's advice regardless. So they go through the vetting process and get the Smart Vista Pro label and take the references and such, but then they do what they want to do. So you do have to know. We've got a couple of people have called. There's been a couple of people in the chat that have said that as well. And so, but are they worth it? Yeah, if they do what they're supposed to do, which they should have a heart of a teacher, according to Dave, and they should guide you and they should teach you all about investing. So, and if you don't know about investing, that is better than you just guessing. But you can teach yourself how to analyze mutual funds. All the information is on the internet, so it just takes time to figure out what you're looking at. And Dave gives you the general advice. You want something with at least a 10-year track record. The more the better. Yeah, so you got that. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't understand it, you need someone to help you. Other than a Smart Vista Pro, you could ask friends maybe for see if they know any financial advisors, perhaps, and you can check them out. But you do get to have a conversation with them off the clock to begin with, and then you can decide if you want to use them or not. So, yeah. So I don't know what point this troll had for all the stuff there, but that's the basic answer to the question. Sid probably remembers Space Flamingo. I may still see it. I don't know. He may be in the. I don't think under that name. Maybe under another name. I don't think under that name he's been in there, because I haven't seen anybody type that in a long time, as in replying to them. I wouldn't see him because I blocked him many a long time ago. Silicon Valley Bank. Let's see. Another bank is about to crash for the public. Aren't they the one that bought SVB? I don't know. Does all your 6-month emergency fund need to be immediately available? Yes. Or is it okay to have 2/3 of it in an account that you can get to in 3 days? Well, you can look at it like this, Aslan. This is Aslan's question in the chat. You can look at it like this. You can decide whether your emergency fund is 3 months, or 3 months and a day's worth, or 3 months and 2 days worth, or 3 months and 3 days worth, or 4 months worth, or 6 months worth, or anything in the middle there. So you can just decide, oh, I guess I just won't have a 6-month emergency fund. I guess I'll have a 3-month emergency fund, and then I can do whatever I want to with the other 3 months worth of it. and then you can put it wherever you want to. But the reason for that though is to if you think you need this much in emergency fund, then logically you should also think that you might need all of it. For depending on what the emergency is, you could need all of it. So as far as that breakdown, that's going to be up to the individual. But as much as you think you need an emergency fund, I believe it's supposed to be all liquid. But again, it can be in a high yield savings account, but it just has to be one, again, that you can get to right away. Boom, boom, boom. So on that, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Aslan. Let's see. So it says original plan with 1K in checking account, the rest in a savings account at a different bank or credit union. Let's see. It says you need to be able to get a hotel room or tire the same day, but you probably don't need to pay a contractor the same day a tree falls through your roof. That's true. That was as I was thinking, did not want to have all that money in a checking account getting a zero return. The interest isn't going to be that much. I understand wanting to get every penny you can, but it's not going to be that much. Let's see, school advisor recommends start looking at next class, even though I'm taking a break. Oh, this is Sid Life stuff. Not referring to Aslan's emergency fund. Maybe do a bit of bow. Oh, that's again Sid Life stuff. I'll go ahead and register because classes are filling up. Yep, you don't want it. You don't want it to be filled up. Alrighty, this 18 gold winger, severed from job, made stupid decisions, need advice. That's a good sum up. Before I met Dave, right? Of course, I had taken out a 401k loan. Beep beep boo doo. At work to pay off some debt. Now it's other debt. So you just moved it around. No need to go there. That is an admitted mistake. Oh, I went there anyway, and I realize that now. But it is done, and now I need to fix it. That's the way. That's how you got to think about it. You can't go back. All you can do is make it better. I think I was in step 6 because the only debt was my mortgage. I had my emergency fund, no credit card debt, no car debt, no student loans. I was maxing my 401k at work, and my kids already graduated college. However, the 401k payback was through workplace paycheck deductions, so I could not pay it off unless I paid back the full amount owed. Partials are not allowed. Yesterday I was laid off, so of course that 401k loan will come due very soon, I think, indeed. There are many, many reasons you don't take a 401k loan, and that is one of them. So, of course, that 401k loan will do very soon, I think. The remaining balance on it is 21k. My severance will cover that. Okay, great. But leave me with hardly nothing left, hardly anything left over to live on until I get a job. I guess you better be getting a job very quickly. My question is, should I pay off the 401k loan with the severance? Unless they give you extra time to pay for it, then yes. If a clock is ticking on that, where you have to pay that off within X amount of time after you are severed, and again, and have nothing hardly left, while I job hunt or Should I stop the payback and let them penalize me the 10% plus get a 1099 for next year's taxes over the balance? Estimate about 8,000. 2K penalty plus 6K tax on balance. This lets me live on the severance until I get a job, but I will have to pay the piper in next year's taxes. It sounds like you're laid off is what it was. Not fired, just laid off. It sounds like you're not going to be gazelle intense on this job hunt. I would get in gear and just get a job so that you don't have to live on the severance. How about that? How about if you get a job? I mean, I know it takes time, but like, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like the figuring this out is more important to you than figuring out the job situation. That is the priority. Yeah, that's priority over the. That would be my plan. My plan would be to get a job as quickly as you can and pay that 401k loan off with the severance. There you go. And then, I don't know, baby steps probably be a good idea. Best way to pull a credit report. Looked online, not sure what spam and or data gathering, what is legit. I just paid off my car payment you go through today, and I don't have any debts that I know of, but I want to be doubly sure, doubling it. I apologize if it's a simple question. In my journey to be financially responsible, I encountered a lot of nonsense and scammy info. Fell into a couple. That'll happen on the internets. You got to be careful. You can go to like any, what is it, TransUnion or Experian. You can go to their websites, and those aren't scams, sort of. Credit Karma is a legit one, I believe. Annualcreditreport.com is allowing consumers to see all 3 credit bureaus weekly online because of the pandy, this person says. I don't know that is true. Not sure how long that'll last. Yeah, I don't know that that's true. You could vet that out to see if that's legit. Credit Karma. People love the Credit Karma, looks like. The best way, completely free. Another one for annualcreditreport.com. That reminds me, I heard an ad on the radio for a car warranty, and they made it sound like it was a government program because of the phrasing on it. Jedi Survivor out Friday. That is a video game. They made this car warranty that they want to sell. They made it seem like a government service or whatever, because they were saying a phone number has been established instead of just you can buy our car warranty at this number. A phone number has been established for you. I forget what they said exactly, but they didn't say if you want to buy a car warranty, but that's what it was. Let's see. What up, AJ? What tools do you use to stay motivated in baby step 2? Tools. This is from Lakeland Crime Lord. All right. Started the debt-free journey 2020. Woo. Okay. It's not that long. I thought it might be. A lot more paragraphs. Started debt-free journey 2020. Started off Gazelle. Sold a lot of stuff to get the $1,000 and paid some of the smaller debts off pretty quickly. Roll on January 2023 felt unmotivated. Baby step 2 was dragging, had fallen off the wagon a little, wasn't getting into debt. I think this is the I think this is the biggest run-on sentence I've ever seen in my life. But got lazy with the budget and tracking spending, and the snowball had melted somewhat, but was more Davish than Dave. Of course you were. Mrs. Not fully committed. That should be MRS. Period. Not fully committed and still had 30.6K in debt. Was in need of a jump start. We had a come together moment. All right. Not really, it's like a come to Jesus moment, but I guess come together moment. Oh, I guess that'll work. Both said, this is the year we get out of debt, but how do we motivate ourselves to get it done? It sounded like you just did, because you made it a goal, so that's part of it. That's at least on the way to there. Let's see, we took a deep look, our budget, cut out all the fat, canceled Amazon Prime, canceled Hulu, stopped eating out, and significantly cut our grocery bill, consistently spent $200 per week. January through March. Sorry, sleepy. Down from 300 plus. On average, between January and March, had 2,500 margin at the end of each month. We plastered one wall in the lounge with red strips of paper with our debt listed as 200 increments, 153 of them to be precise. Wow. All right. So every time we paid off 200, we would rip off a strip. Cool. Looked at all the funds we had in various accounts. We had sinking funds for car maintenance and insurance. Pandy meant we didn't put the miles on the vehicles, so those costs were way lower than originally anticipated, and the insurance came in at half what we originally budgeted for. Have a young driver, so expected to be taken through the ringer on that. Thankfully, that was not the case, and Farmer offered a 12-month policy with significant savings. My wife had been putting $5 toward employee stock purchases for many years, and the pot had actually grown significantly. She didn't want to liquidate it before. As far as insurance, having a sinking fund for it, hopefully that's not just paying, maintenance and insurance. Okay, well, for maintenance, yes. But as far as the insurance part, make sure you're not paying that by month. Make sure you're getting the little bit of savings you can by paying for it in advance, the entire policy. So motivated to get our wall back. We have managed in 3 months to remove 76 strips. Excellent. Paid off 2 loans and the car note. This leaves just the student loan, leaving 77 strips to go. We will have the student loan paid off before the pause ends and the payments start back up. Pause might not end until the next election, if then even. When we start baby step 3, we will reverse it and start to add the strips back to the wall. LOL. Okay. Interesting. It sounds like you're fairly motivated. You keep doing stuff, so it does sound like you're fairly motivated already. Just, it has to be for you having that coming together moment. You're doing it, for the family, not just for one of you. It's for the family. So sounds like you're all right to me. Does anyone budget on a per day basis? Why? I don't know why you would need to do that. Mel0108. Tried several budgeting apps along with pen and paper and have always struggled. It's easy to figure out the fixed amounts. Mortgage, utilities, phone, etc. I always found the variable amounts, groceries, entertainment, gas, really difficult to pre-plan and, more importantly, track. It occurred to me that I could just add all my fixed amounts plus my monthly goals, and then the leftover amount I can divide out among the number of days in a month to be my variable amounts. It's not that hard to track that stuff. You get bills with the mortgage, utilities, and phone amounts on it. Just keep the bill and write paid on it, so you know how much that is. As far as food, they give you a thing called a receipt, or you could look in the if you combine your groceries and when you got to buy other things at the grocery store like bleach or I don't know, what else do people buy? I don't know. I don't use any of it. I just go out to the creek and wash clothes. Um, Dishwashing detergent, anything, toilet paper, anything that you would buy at a grocery, I would just put that in the grocery budget and be done with it. Unless you have a problem with overspending for that kind of thing, and then you might need to break it down. But I don't know why it's difficult to track or pre-plan how much. Um, what you want to do is just when you make a budget, it does take several months to get it down, at least several months. If not, you are really lucky, or either really on top of what your stuff is costing you. So you just got to try is first, and doing it on the per day basis. I don't think so. Um, and I don't know. It seems like the person here might be trying to leave themselves wiggle room a lot, instead of just, how about you put an amount, just see how much you spent at the grocery store last month, and then try to spend that or less this month. And if you look at that total amount and think that's too high, or you could ask some of your friends, or you could post on here, is this too much for X number of people? Um, and then you can lower it. But yeah, it seems because it's not that difficult. So I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if the person is overspending and doesn't want to stop overspending, wants to give themselves more cushion on being able to spend a lot more one month than the other, et cetera, et cetera. So you're not supposed to have a slush fund in the budget for expenses. You're supposed to be the boss of yourself and tell you this is what you're going to spend in groceries. I mean, certainly you you can't get out of spending X amount, but you don't have to spend over that amount. Keep working with it, obviously. Don't give up. Oh, let's see where can I hit reload? Reload. Still haven't posted it. They're waiting late today. Maybe morning meeting or something. What time is it? Wow, 10:16 Eastern time. Yeah, maybe morning meeting after that. All right, well, I don't mind running my mouth. Go for Chuck's Ninja. Baby step 2, flare. Finish baby step 1. Baby step 1, flare there. Just finished baby step 1, literally. What has helped me keep on track is cutting up my debit and credit cards. I have to physically go to the bank and withdraw cash from a teller. Interesting. Okay. If that's what worked for you, I've spent the last few weeks meticulously going over my budget and looking for extra cash and ways to save. Help the person that posted above you. I took the $1,000 cash and put it in a box and glued it shut. The top says break open in emergency only. That's fun. The shift in mindset has been life-changing. I have 40K in debt from student loans, credit cards, hospital bill, repossession of 2 vehicles. I have faith in the steps. Just one knowing I have 1K in cash is a huge peace of mind. Extra word in there for no reason. All right. Yeah. So you're on your way. Did a good job. Now I'm wondering, because it's not clear, is the person says 40K in debt from student loans. Is that just 40K in debt from student loans, and then the credit cards, hospital bill, repossession, 2 vehicles, and is additional debt on top of the 40K? Because if it's only 40K for all of that, that would be excellent. Going in debt to save money. Beep, 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 doo. All right, weeding through the conversation to see if there's anything for me. Nothing for me. Obviously, the chatting. I don't mind being the host for chatting. Definitely don't. That's why the first part of this title is the Ramsey Show pre-show chat. No, I don't think show is twice. I think it's the Ramsey Show pre-show chat. That's what it is. All right. What would Dave do going into debt to save money? He wouldn't go into debt to save money. This is from AAR 32018. And you know that you don't have to even ask. You know better already. 37 comments though, so you're gonna have people that say sure. Oh, if it saves you 1 cent to do it that way, do that. I'm currently employed in the electrical industry, and I travel heavily for work. The longest I have been in one place for the last 6 years is 3 months. Wow. With the shortness of jobs and the next one always coming up soon, it's impossible to rent as most apartments require a 6-month lease term or charge substantial premiums for month to month. Currently, my hotel bill ranges from $500 to $700 per week. Whoever's paying you to do electrical work doesn't pay for that. With the high cost of hotels, I'm considering purchasing a camper. The camper I plan to purchase would be around $15K. You would buy that in cash if that's going to be your housing. And I didn't want to pull all the money out of savings because there's always the potential for layoffs in my industry, and that would wipe out 75% of my savings. Yep. So you got to save more for it. I would be financing this camper, not if you're following Dave Ramsey's advice, and the monthly payment. However, I would be able to attack the loan aggressively and pay it off early since I would be saving on hotels. Even with campground fees, I would be able to save around $1,800 a month on hotel. That's significant. Save up in cash to buy that. What would you recommend for my situation? Any feedback and insight is ready. And I thank you for taking the time to read. You are so welcome. All right, so again, whatever your little situation is, it doesn't change the steps. It doesn't say, sure, take on that debt. The only debt Dave Ramsey advises, there are 2 cases in which he will let you do loans. One is for a mortgage for a house that you live in. If you're going to get rentals, property, that has to be paid for in cash. The other one is a small loan to replace a bigger loan on your car that you're going to sell and you're underwater on. Those are the only two instances for going into debt. So it doesn't matter however you're going to justify it and so forth. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say that. And I would be interested in what the average person thinks is the amount of time you have to listen to his show before realizing that. Because everybody asks that type of question over and over again and calls over and over again, and I mean, maybe they already know, but they just want to make sure, or they just want somebody on this forum, which they will. Yeah. If you ask, can I do anything, there will be somebody that posts, yes, go ahead. Almost certainly. We'll try renting one for a month and see if you like it or not. Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe even renting it continuously, maybe, if that's cheaper. That's a great idea. Sounds great as long as everything works out perfectly and you actually take the surplus per diem and put it towards the camper. But again, that means going into debt, and no, you need to. Yeah, wouldn't your job pay for your hotel? Yeah, job gives per diem, which OP considers part of the compensation. It should be enough to stay. We get the per diem, but even with per diem, it's a lot of money to spend on just hotel rooms. Why didn't you say how much of the hotel room it covers? Especially the summer prices, hotels increase towards their rates. Alrighty, but anyway, the answer is no loan for the camper. No financing the camper. Sorry. Where's Dave this week? This was 27 days ago, a month ago, so maybe Cabo. He was back for Cabo like 3 days, and now he's back up, just the backup personalities again. What the heck is going on? He was somewhere. I think there was a week that it was unknown where he was. I think he might have been working, but just not been on the show. If that was around tax time, I think they have like tax meetings and stuff, and Dave might be off those days. Is anyone buying gold or silver to prepare for the coming crash? I know one person that's not doing it, and that would be Dave Ramsey. No metals. Sprocket 90. This is Sprockets. Inquiring minds need help in deciding what to buy, or just figure I will be burning worthless cash at some point to prepare for the coming crash. Somebody needs to turn off the news. Ramsey personality leaving. Would that be Christina probably they're talking about? If qualifications would be considered, most of them should go. Hey, if they get hired there, it's because guess who wants them there? Dave Ramsey. And he owns the company, so probably a good person to make that decision. Do you focus on eliminating the overdraft first or the credit card installment loans? The overdraft. If you have like money you've overdrafted that's in a separate section called overdraft, and that's accumulating fees and even interest, you do that first. Let's see, this person, the interest rate on overdraft fees is far higher than a credit card charging you 30. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was right. Sacrifice to fast track. What would Dave do? Flair from MC Hockey Boy 87. MC. Maybe the person's initials. I'm trying to think like if a city or something would be MC. Can't think of one. Long post, apologies in advance. Maybe there's a TLDR at the end. Oh, live in Canada, rules on home buying, selling different than USA. Yes, they are. Debt. You don't buy. Oh, mortgages only debt. Mortgages only debt. Okay. Baby stepped training a few weeks ago. Budget. $200 a month left over after combining our monthly salaries. If no surprises happen, I do make commission on top of base salary. We'll really try to live off the base salaries only for our fixed monthly expenses. Sure, but if commissions come in, then you apply them to whatever baby step you're on. In this case, step 1, still $375K on the house. In current marketing with high interest rate, we could easily sell for $575K. $40K in debt other than the house, it looks like. So you'd walk away with 140 to 150K. I would be tempted, but you have to have a place to live after that. Where are you going to live? Yep, enticing, because you could fully pay off our debt without doing anything except moving. Fully funded, 6 month early fund. Put down the remaining $75K on the new house as a down payment, and go from step 1 to step 4 basically overnight. Yes, but how much of a new house are you gonna? We would end up paying a bit more a month for the mortgage due to the high rates. But I think it is a no-brainer to do this. Yeah, I mean, that could be to be out of debt. That could be paying a little bit more a month for mortgage wouldn't be so bad. My wife, on the other hand, thinks differently. Well, then it doesn't matter what we think about it. She isn't really for that big of a sacrifice, okay? So so you understand where she's coming from? Oh, attachments to the home. Making this move where you don't have to justify it to me. I'm on board with you selling the house. I'm fine with it. Some of the monthly expenses aren't permanent. Child care, daycare, $850 a month. And eventually our debt will be gotten under control in a longer process. Help me understand if I'm being insane or how to guess. Excuse me. Persuade my wife to make this sacrifice. I got her on board with the baby steps, but if she isn't ready to fully sacrifice to this extent, will she ever be? We don't know. You know her better than we do. You know what makes her tick. You know what her motivations would be. She just wants to do it. You want to do it the quick way, which I'm fine with. In this case, doing this the quick way. But she doesn't. She would rather keep that house than do it the quick way. And so you got to come up with some kind of compromise there. Which I'm sure I know is easier said than done. Where the daily did you hear threads about each day's show? I did all these already. Oh, let's check again. Still not posted. Wow. All right, what time is it? It is 10:32 on your Eastern time. Okay, these older ones, like from a month ago, I probably did on a 9 Ramsey show, pre-show chat edition of Ramsey Coach. So if I hear Dave say tic tac one more time, I'm done. All right, I guess you might be done. Well, your last name is done already. Would Dave Ramsey approve? I'm going to guess no. That's from MC Hockey Boy again. Of me consolidating my 5K. No, pay it off. Just pay it off. The problem with the consolidation, even though you think you're doing it for interest, they also charge fees usually to do that. So you got to include that in when you do your little math. The problem with that is it makes you feel like you've done something because you don't owe Visa anymore. You don't owe the car company anymore, or the car dealer. You don't owe them anymore. You just owe this one big chunk to this one company. So it makes you feel like you've done something, and then you take your foot off the gas. So you're just moving it around. So instead of that, Dave says pay it. I use a 12 to 8 month timeline based on the required monthly payments required by my bank at that interest rate without looking at my disposable monthly income after everything is dealt with. Oh, with plans of paying it off within 12 to 18 months. Yeah. Just pay off the individual ones instead of doing debt consolidation. Because almost certainly the consolidation loan has interest as well. So you gotta figure in the fees for consolidating, the fee that they charge, and the interest as well. Trade in new car for 10-year-old Toyota? Probably. If you're even considering that, I would say probably. Privacy.com, I heard about that listening to Ramsey podcast one day. Went to take a look at now. As you apply for credit as part of the terms. Boop, 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 doo. If so, do the Ramsey guys find alternatives to what? Then I saw some other posts where people got hacked. Could happen with anything, yeah. But it looks as though getting customer service could be an issue. I want a virtual card for those services that require it to be on file. I removed my debit card and did not agree to the terms. Thoughts? Yeah, so that's supposed to... Well, I don't know what that service is supposed to do. I just want a virtual card for those services that require it to be on file. You could also do buy yourself a Visa gift card with a certain amount on it for things like that. Would it ever be advisable to take out a life insurance policy for your parent to cover final costs and unpaid bills? Good question. You don't have to pay their bills because debt isn't inherited, but if you're trying to like get the house or something, even a small policy at that age is going to be expensive. Yeah, they didn't say what age though. See if there's something from the OP. There we go. Completely broke with a who's completely broke? Oh, the parents are. Yeah. So okay. So if you're not trying to get their house, have any of their stuff left to you, if you're not trying to do that, their debt dies with them. Yeah, that's a good point, though. Hasn't co-signed anything. That's good. Yep. So you're not on the hook for any of that stuff. Yeah, just save up what you would pay in for the life insurance policy for them if you would like to do that. Otherwise, the unpaid bills die with them. Home buying. This infernal warning 1463. I am currently about to pay off my vehicle, which is the last debt that I know of. Outstanding bills have not been arriving for a few months as I've paid them off. I'm a year and a half on my vehicle with a terrible 17.99% interest rate. Terrible. That's just terrible. I can't do check. I paid between 10% to 200% more every payment on the principal. I haven't checked my credit score because I can't get credit because I can't get credit. I've increased my gross from 35 to 85K over the last few years. Nice, with the big bump a few months ago where I was able to hammer off debt and have lowered costs by switching insurance and phone bills to new companies by paying in full for the year. Excellent. I currently rent. I could get a VA loan for a house 6 months ago. Oh, I could get for got it. I could get a VA loan for a house 6 months ago, but want to pay off everything first. Somebody's paying attention to Dave's stuff. I have a $1,000 emergency fund, but was wondering what my best course of action for my situation. How much to save for emergency fund, down payment, inspections. The emergency fund, the full emergency fund, is 3 to 6 months of your personal expenses. So we can't tell you how much to save for it because we don't know how much your expenses are per month. You should know that. And we don't know how much emergency fund you want to keep, how many months. You can pick any amount from 3 to 6 months. It can be 3, 4, it can be 3.5, 4, 5, 5.99. Any number in there that you want. It can be. So we don't know what that should be. Down payment is 20% would be best. If you haven't bought a house before, Dave says 10% for first-time home buyer, but you are going to have to pay PMI with that, I believe. Maybe not on the VA. I can't remember. One of those you don't have to. Oh no, I think VHA is lifetime PMI. I can't remember. I can't remember all the different ones. That's what the internet's for. Was there a question? Oh, how much to save for down payment and inspections? Like I said, down payment is 10 or 20%, and then just some more on top of it. I can't remember what a house inspection is. A couple $100 maybe. I do not remember. Yeah, so that's the last debt. So emergency fund first, and then down payment after that. Not both at the same time, and then all of a sudden you decide to buy a house before the emergency fund is done. Emergency fund first. That would be step 3. And saving for the down payment is step 3B. It goes right in between, right where learn more is. That's where baby step 3B would be if they had it in the list. And that is saving for the down payment. Wrong page. And back. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see again to see if anything for me. You never know. So it says it's difficult, legally speaking, to get life insurance on someone other than your spouse, child. Yep. Explains why I failed to get some on Coach Steve Money. That's right. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate you looking into that, though. The regular show one started, is what Aslan said. The regular show one. And this would be the people that actually do the Ramsey show. And yes, that is up now. You can see it's right there, and Aslan posted there as well. Alrighty, so I will wrap it up. Oh, I forgot to pre-plan. Just go into my stream. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Oh, I want to go there. There we go. And posted Cursebuck Island Season 10 Episode 23 preview, and as well as the Episode 22 No Cap recap last night, which I'll go into that for my plugs, which are at the end there. And I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me if you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track. You can do that at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, like the Ramsey stuff, like Oak Island, like computer stuff, like video gaming stuff. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. And as always, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Thanks for watching.